You guys have been doing SYFY Bartow for 6 years.
Okay.
Has it helped your show?
Hell yeah. I think if any business comes to SYFY Bartow and they leave and they're like, oh, it didn't do nothing for me, you're full of shit.
It does.
I'm sorry. And I hate to be blunt, but this is a happy hour with Johnny and Duce. It's not you guys' podcast and web show, but I can be blunt with my fans. No. If you come to this show, you are going to expand your fan base and you are going to get new listeners. You're going to get new sponsors. You're going to get new people. Even if, let's just say, for the sake of argument, you don't even get new listeners, which is not going to happen.
Right.
But let's just pretend that you don't, because whatever. You are going to network with people and make new sponsors, because that is one of my biggest networking events of the year is SYFY Bartow, because there's so many people that are saying in the same nerd culture world that we're all in.
Right.
And it's like, oh, well, you do this thing. I do this thing. Let's work together. Or, hey, like, you do this thing. I think you could be a really good sponsor for our show. Let's talk about options I have for you. So I think there's a lot of really, really cool ways to, kind of network. So it's a really good networking show. But I'm not going to lie. If anybody goes and says they didn't add more Facebook followers or Twitter followers or Instagram followers or listeners, and they're
that's what the world is all about now, is getting followers and likes and things
like that. That's all that matters at this point. Like, all that matters at this point is making sure that you have got followers and you got people that are interested in you. So,
all right, being the professional that you are, because I've been friends with you for eons, and Johnny. Being there, and I know you said you had a time to actually walk away from the show that you guys always do and get to see what was going on at SYFY Bartow. Give your listeners and us and our listeners, because we're simulcasting at the same time, your actual bottom line opinion, good or bad, of SYFY Bartow 2020.
I can tell you right now, I love it. It's my favorite event of the year. Number one, it's free, guys. Like, it's free. I don't know how you could not be down with something that you're not paying for. And not only is it free to get in because it's a street festival, it's free to park. Like, you're not paying some ungodly $20 to park somewhere. Like, it's totally free. So that was awesome. There are so many vendors. You've got different brick and mortar places like Main Street Comics and Memorabilia, and then you've also got
Bedrock Wings,
and you've got Hacienda, and you've got Palace Pizza. You've got all these like brick and mortar stores there that are sponsors to you guys. But also you walk around and you see like one of our sponsors, Doombrowski's Games and Comics, that are there, that have got a tent, and you can see everything from art to cosplayers to comics to board games to, if you name it, it was there. And the other thing I really like, now I don't have children personally, but like a lot of my friends from work came that had kids.
Right.
There was a lot of stuff for kids to do.
Yes.
Like, there was a lot of like kids games and like interactive booths for the kids. So it's a super cool family friendly event. Yep. So hands down, like, if you don't mark that day off on your calendar, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Like, seriously.
So you're telling me it's Duce approved?
It's hands down double Duce approved. So yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you guys hanging with us, and it was a lot of fun. It's been a lot of hard work to build what SYFY Bartow is now. Randee helps me; he's like my sidekick. My wife is my partner, and she handles all the vendor things. We had over 150 vendors. Dombrowski's were right there beside the main stage. They loved it so much they want to come back next year.
Nice. Did he tell you that?
Yes,
awesome.
sir. He sure did.
Awesome.
And all our vendors did. We have a very low vendor fee. It's $60 to vend for the day.
Which, that is stupid. I mean, and I mean that in a good way. That is so cheap. It's ridiculous. Right. So. And
that's why we keep it low, because every penny of money that we collect from SYFY goes right back into the Main Street area. It's a non-profit organization.
Yeah.
That's why the fee is low. It's for a 10 by 10 spot, it is $60 for the day, and it's $20 extra if you needed power.
Yeah.
And
it's 60, and it jumps up to 80 if you need power.
If you need pay, yes, okay. That's the way it works, because we have to pay the city
municipalities for using the power. Yeah.
And it's absolutely free. The vendors, they charge their their fees for whatever they're selling. The food is not free. Of course, it's free to attend in part, like Duce was saying.
Right. But you still got, if you go and buy something for somebody or get food or whatever, of course you got to pay for that. So.
Yeah, not everything's free. I mean, you got to, the vendors got to make some money.
Well, exactly. You've got to make money, and the cosplayers got to make money, and everybody needs to make a little something, which I agree. But I think that's really cool. It's a really cool price point. It's a very low cost, especially for the amount of exposure you get at the event. I mean, hell, I'd pay $60 just for the exposure, even if I wasn't selling anything.
When you go out to eat on Friday or Saturday night, what do you usually spend? Just going out to eat.
Like on a normal night?
Yeah, on a normal night.
Shit, $60.
There you go.
Yeah.
$60 you could save and be a vendor at SYFY Bartow.
Yeah.
Randee takes care of our car show. I'd like to talk to him about that, or if you wouldn't mind.
No, go right ahead, man.
Our car show is like the heart of SYFY Bartow, and he has grown it to over 75 cars now after 8 years. Tell us a little bit about the car show, Randee.
Well, the car show is free to register, but anybody with a science fiction car can show up and be a part of it. I just ask that you let me know in advance so that I have a place to park you and make sure you have a spot. And of course, like I said, it's themed, so it's not your typical it's not your typical car show. It's a science fiction car show. So yeah, let's find me on Facebook and let me know if you want to bring your science fiction car.
Yep, it's growing, and we're actually giving Randee more room in 2021, which is the rise of the robots is our theme. We have a theme every year, you know that, right, Duce? But we have attracted great. Not only Happy Hour Johnny and Duce, which I think is a celebrity status. We had Butch Patrick from the Munsters.
Really cool this year.
He showed up.
Really cool.
He was Eddie Munster, signed autographs. We had Tim Proctor from The Walking Dead. We had Mark Muncy, which is an author that does all kinds of like weird books about UFOs and monsters and things.
Was he the Sasquatch?
No, that was Robert Robinson.
Okay. Yeah, Robert Robinson.
He was there. He's a regular guest on This Is Talking Sci-Fi with Sean and Randee. And it was amazing. The people that we have attracted after 7 years of doing this is incredible. We try to cater towards the cosplayers, the authors, the artists. Josh Bauer, which is our staple on your show. Yeah. He comes and does live.
He's actually our heavyweight champion on our show of most guests. He's
really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
He's we have a heavyweight championship belt for guests that has been on the most times.
Nice.
And Josh Bauer is our world heavyweight champion of most guest appearances on our show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have the guys from Kitchen Killers, Billy and the Commodore.
Billy and Jay. Yeah.
Yep, they're a staple at SYFY Bartow. They always have a spot with us to entertain. And we try to change the show up every year. For the last 3 years, I've had Billy and the Commodore from the Kitchen Killers, and that's great. And because people ask for them to come back, that's why I asked them to come and join us. But we're always constantly changing. We have a great staff of volunteers at SYFY Bartow, which helps things run very smoothly. But people that will always be with us, no matter what, will be your show.
Yep.
Happy Hour. I like our friends at Hanging with Webb. He's a staple with us as well, along with hundreds of people, which I don't want to take up a lot of your time because this is your show.
No,
I don't want to override it.
Take up the time, man.
You
made me a cocktail. I can just sit here and sip on this and let you keep it all.
I'm drinking some of my Tranya. It's a lot of fun. It's a family show,
which I love. That's really cool. Like I invited people, not to cut you off, but I invited people from work that have kids, and not just kids, but like multiple kids. Because one of the nice ladies I work with, I'll leave her name out. Her and her.
Is it Frances?
Sure,
we'll go with that. Is it Sally?
So sure, we'll go with that. But her and her husband came with their 4 kids, which that's a lot of people because you think 4 kids too. That is 6 people came, had a great day. Right. You can't take 6 people to MegaCon. No. I mean, excuse me, I hate to be that guy, but like if you think you're taking 6 people to MegaCon, you've lost your ever-loving mind.
We're not familiar with MegaCon. Is it a big convention or something?
It costs about $300 for 6 people.
Yeah, exactly.
And 25.
So exactly. Oh my God! I will tell you the best MegaCon. Okay, we're gonna pull this aside because it's my show and tell a story. So there was a show on TBS called King of the Nerds,
right.
and we had made friends with the head of TBS's talent relations.
Right.
So I remember this.
Yeah. So she started sending us like guests and was like, "Oh, we'll have this person on, this person on, this person on." We had actually, who's a friend of ours now, Rochelle. She came on the show and we were talking about MegaCon. She's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds really cool." And I said, "If you will fly down here, I will give you a place to stay and I will feed you all weekend." And I'll pick you up from the airport. You just got to pay to get in the convention, and you got to pay for your plane ticket. She's like, done. And I was like, nice. Oh shit! Like, this is a random fucking stranger. Yeah. So then she calls her castmates and got like 3 other castmates to go. So we have 3 of the King of the Nerds castmates coming to my house, who are random strangers I've never met, by the way, who drove cross country in a fucking van.
Van.
To get to my... Well, one of them flew because we had to go pick him up.
Sean loves this. He can't say fuck.
Yeah.
We're simulcast, Randee.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So we get to the house and we take him to MegaCon. Day 1, I am so anxiety ridden. I'm through the roof. So I park the car and my dumbass doesn't take a picture of where the car is.
Oh my god.
So we go into the convention, we do the convention thing. Dear MegaCon, get your fucking shit together. I could not find a beer in that motherfucker to save my life. I'm like, what the fuck?
I always sneak my own alcohol in there.
That's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to start have to bootleg it.
Flask, baby. They don't frisk for flask.
I'm not going back, so it doesn't matter.
I'm not going back either.
So, anyway, we leave, and I'm like, I can't find the fucking car.
Oh, my God.
We dropped them at a Red Lobster, and then me and Johnny go on this quest for my... It's like the movie Dude, Where's My Car?
Which happens to be Sean's favorite movie.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. And the funniest thing, I finally... because we were in Johnny's car driving around trying to find mine. We somehow get behind the convention center, and we pull in, and this old guy comes out who I swear to God, all my life looks like Stan Lee, and he goes, and he's a security guard. He goes,
Excelsior,
son, what are you looking for? He's like, sir, I'm looking for my truck, and he's like, well, where'd you park? And I said, well, I don't know. It was over by here, and it was kind of like this, and the building looked like that. And he's like, oh, son, that's over in parking lot B in this lot. And I said, thank you so much. And he's like, don't even worry about it. We drive off. That's exactly where it was.
Wow.
I think Stan Lee did one of his MCU cameos in my life to get me to that fucking car, because I literally was shitting bricks, because I'm like, I've got 3 celebrities that I've left at a fucking Red Lobster eating cheddar biscuits and drinking Bud Light while I would find where the fuck my SUV is.
Did you take your truck?
Well, I took an SUV. Okay. It was a very, very big SUV because we had like 9 people in it.
That's what I was going to say, because I know you drive a little 2-door truck.
No, it's 4-door.
4-door.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did you cram these fucking celebrities you've never met?
I had a giant Lincoln Navigator.
So make sure we're on point.
Yeah,
I want to make
giant Lincoln Navigator. Yeah. Oh man, they had so much fun. And I think that was my other favorite story was, so we went Friday, we went Saturday, we were going to go Sunday, and I said, look, I'm done. Like, I am done. And I said, my parents live 6 doors down. We're going to have a fucking pool party. We're going to fucking drink, and we're going to barbecue. You down with that? And they're like, fuck yeah, we're down with that. And Pop's got Mrs. Johnny Womack, Brandy, drunk as fuck. Because John Duce, if you walk in his house, he asks you if you want a drink, and he does not mean, do you want a Coca-Cola? Right. So, like, she was doing, like, tequila shots in the pool.
Oh, my God.
And, like, everybody was just lit like a match.
Oh my
so goodness. Some of them, which was funny, because that night was a Game of Thrones, or episode of Game of Thrones. I think it was a new season premiere. And then after that, we did a 2-hour podcast with them. And then someone had to leave because they were like, yo, we got to go back to like Ohio or where the fuck you're going from. So they left. And then there was 2 of them that stayed, and we were supposed to go to Universal the next day. And I'm like, if we're going tomorrow, I've got a season pass. Thank God I don't have to pay anything, but I'm going to live on fucking Red Bull and nicotine. Like, that is how I'm going to get through the day. And then I got up in the morning when my alarm went off and it said, hey, do you guys want to go? And they're like, do you want to just stay here? Because Daredevil, that first season of Daredevil, Netflix came out that weekend. Right. They're like,
oh, yeah. John, what do you think about the Netflix season of Daredevil?
You know I don't stream
exactly.
stuff.
So
I'm
they were
old mofo.
They were like, hey, do you want to play board games and watch Daredevil? I'm like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, do you mind if I go back to sleep? And they're like, yes. I'm like, deuces. And I went and just passed the fuck out. But like, that was probably one of the hands down top 3 favorite moments of our career of the Happy Hour with John and Duce, because these were people that we made friends with that were these reality TV stars that we never would have made if it hadn't been for, you know, doing the show, which is really, really cool. But we've made a lot of good friends at SYFY Bartow. Sure. Made a lot of celebrity guest friends there.